StormWatch number 22, written by Jim Starlin, art by Yvel Guichet. So last issue, Jenny Soul led Lobo into the place where the collective said to go, and it turned out to be a trap, and Lobo's going to like kill everybody. So they're kind of just recapping that for a page, saying, all right, here's all the crazy stuff that happened. What do we got to do in order to stop this? And they said, well, he needed to go to this exact location. So it stands to reason if we get him out of this exact location, everything will be fine. So Jenny runs in and it's just like, I can use my telekinetic ability to move him. And she starts to use her power and then immediately gets like mind blasted away by Lobo's intense, like Super Saiyan ability coming off him. And Weird grabs Jenny and just be like, all right, well, she's out. Who wants to step up next? And turns out that the rest of StormWatch are all like surrounding him, trying to get in on him. And the collective is changing the way that Lobo perceives them so that he'll fight back against them. So they all look like giant bugs for some reason. He throws his energy out. It starts like destroying the city as a whole. And the rest of StormWatch is like, okay, is this plan to destroy the city? Like the planet? Is it what's the goal here? And they're like, I don't know. Let's just get in there and take them out. So Midnighter starts to move in, and immediately the other two are like, well, now hold on. Midnighter, you literally can't do anything here. This is above your pay grade. Get out of here. Go take care of Jenny. He's like, no, grumble, fine. So Apollo then steps in. He tries to move Lobo. We see that Lobo throws some punches as Apollo comes in thinking that he is a bug. And he knocks Apollo straight across the city into a building. Midnighter goes and takes care of Apollo, saying like, nah, he's out for the count too. It's all up to you, whatever the hell his name is. War something, I think. I don't know. The green energy guy. They didn't do a good enough job of reminding me of names this issue. Regardless, he tries firing off energy blast, doesn't do anything. And it's like, okay, I think it's time to call this one. We have failed. We need to get off this planet just in case it's a world-destroying thing. So they start preparing for extraction, and then all of a sudden the collective is like, okay, he's powered up enough. Let's do our thing. So they redirect his energy into a broadcasting station building like place, and the head of StormWatch says like, forecaster, what's going on? What's with the energy inside of the TV station? And it's like, I don't know. They're just sending out a message. And it's like, okay, well, keep an eye on that. And all of a sudden, Lobo, he runs out of energy. He collapses, unconscious. And the crew comes up and is like, is it? Did we win? Are we done? Was all you doing trying to send out a message? And Forecaster scans the area. And it turns out that the message was not a message. It was some sort of like signal or something like that. And the entire purpose of it was that it found the homeworlds of those two warring alien races, the Bruticus and the Canaanites, and murdered them all. All of their entire homeworld just dead. Like nobody left alive at all. And so two entire races, extinct, just like that. And everyone's looking around like, oh dear God, what did we just let happen? Genocide of two whole alien species. That's horrible. Jenny Soul takes it especially hard, but everyone just loads into the portal and just like, all right, well, we'll deal with it when we get home. By the way, we're taking Lobo. He's an asset. We can use him. Someone pick him up, drag him in. So at that point, the collective steps in and they're like, all right, we did a good job, everybody. Congratulations. We just need to wrap up a few little loose ends there and then we're good. So they head into the StormWatch like HQ, and the leader is talking to one of the Shadow Lords, and they're just like, all right, so we have any idea what that was about? And they're like, no, that's weird. Like, why would they kill the Canaanites? And they're like, they have no special place in the universe. They aren't anything major. What's so big a deal about them? And so they say the mission was a failure, but they got some good intel on the collective, and maybe it'll help them in their next mission against them, whatever it is. Plus, they got Lobo. And so Lobo starts to come to. He's like, oh, what's going on here? And the leader comes down and just like, hey, you now work for StormWatch. Congratulations. And he's like, maybe you don't know me. I'm not much of a joiner. And he's like, maybe you don't know StormWatch. We put nanobots in your blood that will kill you if you disobey. And so they give him an electric shock and says, all right, your first day's tomorrow. Have fun. So we then see, I mean, it's pretty much a useless page, but it's just StormWatch and Apollo, not StormWatch, Midnighter and Apollo talking, saying like, oh man, this place, I didn't sign up for interplanetary genocide. Maybe we should just leave and run away together. And then they say like, oh, but the aliens who gave us our powers are still out there. We need to stay with StormWatch because Yeah. So then we go to the engineer, who I genuinely forgot was in this book. And she goes and talks to Zhao Mar, who is the guy that she picked up in like the first issue of this run. And turns out that he cannot function without some sort of drug in his system. And they've detoxed him from all the hard things. So now they just let him smoke a little weed for every once in a while. And she walks him around the ship and says, like, yeah, no, like, once you gain some trust here, once you join the team, you'll be able to do whatever you want here. How does that sound? We're the good guys. And then Jalmar sees someone on this ship, and he recognizes the person as someone who was like a soldier and shot at him or something like that. Not explained, but it happened. So in case it is. Then we go over to Jenny and the Weird, and the Weird's like, you shouldn't be upset. Like, you didn't know what the collective was doing. Like, yes, you're kind of responsible for those 2 genocides, but it's more on them. And she's like, yeah, no, I know, but like their game isn't over yet. And then all of a sudden the collective appear inside of her bedroom. And it's like, all right, Weird, get behind me this time. And she's like, all right, collective, you're here to kill me because I'm a loose end. Like, I know that you exist, and I know like what you look like and what you feel like, and so you have to get rid of me. And they're like, yep, that's the long and short of it. And she's like, all right, well, why don't you explain to me exactly why I had to do what I did? And it's like, well, Lobo's the only one who has this weirdly intense energy inside of him, so we just needed to get there to exploit it, and the entire purpose was to kill those warring alien races, because if either of them won the war against the other, they would have taken it over and killed like numerous galaxies. Billions and billions of people would be dead. We just killed like a couple 100 million, and we think that's better. It's, you know, it's the right thing to do. And Jenny's like, well, you lied. You lied to me, and therefore it is you will not be able to do that stuff again, because I am the alpha dog when it comes to psychic powers. And the collective's like, yeah, okay, you're a little girl, and we're going to just disintegrate you into dust now. And so they use their psychic abilities, but turns out Jenny wasn't bluffing. She is genuinely the best psychic there is. So she uses her psychic abilities to crush the skulls of the collective and turn them into dust. And Weird's like, Jesus Christ, man, I didn't know you could do that. And he's like, yeah, it was them or us. I did what was necessary. But, you know, they're not done yet. They're beings that exist outside of time and space. I'm sure we'll get another attack from them soon enough. We just have to figure out what they want. And we see that the leader is looking on at this saying like, yep, and we all have to deal with our own part in the tragedy of what happened this day, Jenny Soul, as Jenny like sheds a single tear. Gonna point out, one page in this issue, just weird. She doesn't have a pupil in one of her eyes. And it's like, not even that it's just hidden by her hair or anything. It's just not there. And it's so unsettling when I first came across it. And it's not supposed to be that way. It's just an art error. Anyway, I'm glad that the collective is sticking around, because this feels way too easy to take them out. I think that it's an okay if we're doing this as just sort of like the, you know, first encounter sort of thing, and we're going to come back to them again in a stronger form. But if this were the end-all be-all for the collective, these reality-shaping, time-traveling, mind-controlling villains, I'd feel very let down. This feels like the sucker's way out for them. As for adding Lobo to the team, whatever. Like this, I have, after 20 issues of StormWatch being a very specific team, and then we just randomly shake it up, I don't have that many attachments to this version. So whoever you want to add, whoever, just do it. I don't care. Overall, this is probably I'm going to go with a flat 6. And the reason why isn't because it's a poor story. It's because of the back half, where we get the random page of Midnighter Apollo saying, like, we have to stay with Stormwatch no matter what. And then Engineer saying, let this man smoke some weed. And then just this, like, random couple things of they sending out signals to kill. Like, I feel like an alien race as strong and collective should just be able to kill them without Lobo. Like, it should just be a thing of, like, we poisoned their water supply and they're dead. Like, it shouldn't be that hard. But hey, whatever. It's just a weird story, and it's only going to get weirder. So, 6 for this.